Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to LA Lakers basketball. Today I'm going to be talking about how close is Anthony Davis to Giannis in the MVP race. How close is AD to Giannis in the MVP race? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because obviously we've seen the last few games that AD has had, and now his name is starting to be mentioned on all of the networks, ESPN, First Things First, First Take, they're starting to mention AD now because of the phenomenal games that he's had the last few games. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit because, even though you're hearing his name mentioned, and, some are lobbying on his side, some are standing on AD's side, but, a lot of people are still focusing, on Giannis and the things that he's doing. And let me give credit where credit is due. Giannis is playing phenomenal. The Bucks are on this crazy run right now. So, he's definitely handling business. He's definitely doing what he has to do. But I just wanted to go over the stats a little bit and just really look at how close is AD to Giannis. Are there some things about Giannis that we don't mention when it comes to, what it is that he's doing this year? And once again, he's playing phenomenal. We all know that the Greek freak is a beast. There's no denying that. But as we see more and more with each game, AD, he's starting to beast out now. I'm even noticing a different attitude game by game, the aggression. He almost has this angriness about him now. Like he's coming into his own. He's starting to seem a lot more comfortable, because there was a thing that people were talking about, was he going to be an aggressive AD, or was the lights going to be too big for him? How was he going to handle playing in Staples Center and before all the stars, and how he was going to handle playing with LeBron James, but to me, he's embraced it. And not only has he embraced it, he's set some goals for himself, when it comes to this season, and some things that he's determined to do, which so far I feel like he's on course to do. He didn't really mention MVP. I believe LeBron mentioned that a little bit about him when in the beginning of the season, but he did mention striving to be the defensive player of the year this year. And guess what? To me right now, he is the number one candidate for defensive player of the year. So with all of that being said, I just wanted to just talk a little bit about both of these guys. I'm enjoying watching both, man. These guys are really, showing what basketball is all about, really just, bringing the excitement every night, man. And it's got the NBA buzzing, man. It's got the NBA popping. So, when I look at their stats, when we look at field goal percentage, Giannis is leading in that category, 56.4. That's his field goal percentage right now on the season. And AD is 50.7. When we look at points per game, Giannis right now is averaging 30.9, and AD is averaging 27.7. So, when it comes to the field goal percentage, AD is a little behind. But when it comes to points per game, he's only about 3 points behind Giannis. Giannis, when it comes to rebounds per game, he's at 13.2. Anthony Davis is at 9. And one of the reasons why AD probably doesn't have, as many rebounds per game right now as he would have probably have had last season is because, we got JaVale McGee, we got Howard out there, we got LeBron out there. So, he doesn't have to handle so much of the rebounding responsibility as he might have had in New Orleans. When we look at assists per game, Giannis is averaging 5.5. AD is averaging 3.3. Now, Giannis is winning in the assist category, but one thing that I have noticed about Giannis and his stats is that Giannis has 91 turnovers to date, whereas AD only has 52 turnovers. And I understand that Giannis has the ball in his hands a little bit more than AD. Sometimes he brings the ball up, but nevertheless, a turnover is a turnover. So, yes, he's leading in the assist category, but he also almost has double the turnovers that AD has. Now, when we look at the three-point percentage, both of these guys are starting to shoot the three-point percentage better, shooting from the three-point line better. AD is averaging 33.3, where Giannis is averaging 31.9. So AD has a slight edge when it comes to the three-point percentage. But this is the stat that I really wanted to get to that I think it's mentioned in game sometimes when you watch Bucks games, but it doesn't seem to be mentioned as much when we talk about MVP candidates or when you compare these two. From the free throw line, Giannis is shooting 58.8% from the free throw line, whereas AD is shooting 87% from the free throw line. And I think that that's something that can't be ignored. I think that's a big deal because we know that free throws are a very important part of the game. And we've seen Giannis in the past miss some crucial free throws that cost him the game, as where we see AD this year. I didn't really follow him a whole lot in New Orleans, but being a Lakers fan, I watch every game and listen to every game. I mean, he's hitting some clutch free throws. And not only is he hitting clutch free throws, but he's averaging 87% from the free throw line. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. I think that when we have this argument about these two, who is better, who's playing better, I think this is something that needs to be mentioned more. When it comes to steals, right now AD has 35 steals, Giannis has 31. So they're pretty much they're pretty much close in that category. It's not a big disparity there. And I already mentioned the turnovers, where you have Giannis has 91, AD has 52. But when we talked about the blocks per game, AD is averaging 2.6, where Giannis is averaging 1.3. AD has 61 blocks already this season, whereas Giannis has 31. And one of the things that I think makes this race a lot closer than what some are saying it is because of AD's defensive play this year. Yes, a lot of times we watch these games and the main thing we focus on is how many points somebody's scoring, how many crazy dunks they've done, and things of that nature. But I think that, this is something to take into consideration, because not only is AD playing great on the offensive side, but he's equally, if not playing better, on the defensive side. So that's why I feel that AD is a lot closer than we're giving him credit for. Even now when I hear people talk about the MVP race, AD is still like in a distance to them. They're more talking about LeBron. They're more talking about, Luka, but listen, I think AD is right there. And to you guys out there that want to say, oh, well, Giannis isn't playing with a LeBron, Giannis doesn't have LeBron feeding him the ball and this and that. Listen, I get it. Giannis does not have a LeBron. But here's the thing about basketball, and once again, that we don't bring up enough. And that's why I'm not a big guy on the superstar argument. Jordan is better than LeBron and Kobe's better than Jordan. I don't like those arguments because this is a team sport. And the reason why the Bucks and the Lakers are at the top of their conferences is because they have a bunch of guys on each team that know their role. And when you have guys that you're playing with that know their role, you're going to play at a level that the rest of the league can't deal with. And that's what you have on both of these guys' teams. On Giannis' team, yes, he doesn't have another superstar there, but all of those guys that's playing with Giannis, they know their role. George Hill, Brook Lopez, Middleton, these guys know where they need to be, what they should be doing, what their role is. They're not trying to do above and beyond that. And that's why they are at the top of their conference. And when it comes to the Lakers, all veterans, McGee, Green, Bradley, Rondo, LeBron, all of these guys know their role and what it is that they're supposed to be doing. And that's why we are at the top of our conference. So, I tell people to kind of miss me with, it's just all about because it's LeBron and AD there. Listen, if these other guys wasn't KCP chasing guys around, Avery Bradley when he wasn't injured, setting that defensive tone, Frank Vogel just pushing that defensive mindset. Listen, we wouldn't be where we are now. We've seen teams with two superstars, but because everybody and not be doing well because everybody else don't know their role. So this isn't just about LeBron and AD or just about Giannis. Let's not forget the others, as Shaq would say. This is just about as much about the others as it is about these particular stars. So I just wanted to say that for people that say, oh, AD, he is where he is or he's averaging what he's averaging because he's playing with LeBron. I don't think that's the case. I think if LeBron wasn't there and you had these guys there and they were playing the way that they've been playing as far as knowing their role, with Rondo being there at the point, Avery Bradley, I think he still would be averaging great numbers. But obviously, it's a luxury to play with LeBron. There's no getting around that. But let's not discredit this young man's performance so far. And I think he's only getting better. I think we're about to see some phenomenal stuff from AD. Mark my words on it. I think AD is going to surpass what we all thought he would do this season. And I think that he will be the MVP candidate. But the whole thing is, we saw what happened last year with James Harden and Giannis. It's all about who's voting. Sometimes people have their particular guys they like and the reason that they're picking these guys. But I think when it's all said and done, there's going to be a strong argument that AD should be the MVP player of the year, the most valuable player of the year. Right now, how close is AD to Giannis in the MVP race? I think he's very close. Will I say that he should get it over Giannis at this point? I won't say that, but I think there's some arguments that, we can have to say that, listen, if you feel Giannis should get it for this reason, I feel AD should get it for this reason. And one of those main reasons is on the defensive end, which we know that is what wins championships. So that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Listen, comment in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do not forget to click that subscribe button. And after you click that button, click the bell so you can get the notifications of these different topics and, things that we're going to be talking about in the future, because I want to get you guys feedback. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I'll mention some of those things on the show. Listen, I'm not afraid to mention, what somebody else's thoughts are, even if it's, even if it's opposite of mine, So listen, put your thoughts in the comments, like the video, share the video. Listen, let's talk about this topic, man. And I know I'm a Laker fan, and some may say, oh, you're a little biased. No, I'm not being biased. I just gave you the numbers. I think AD is right there, and I think this kid is just going to get better and better this season. I love the aggression. I love his attitude, and I just see him going up from here. So, mid-season, we'll see where both of these guys are at. But right now, I think AD is right on his heels. So listen, guys, until the next time we get together, to all of my Laker family, stay true. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.